I, Amos Kimwami Nyaribo, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Next will be for you to submit or formally table your management responses.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby table the following documents before the committee. Management responses and accompanying annexes on the report of the Auditor General on County Executive for the year 2023-2024. 2. Management responses and accompanying annexes on the report of the Auditor General on the receiver of revenue for the County Executive for the year of Nyamira for the year ended June 2024. 2023-24. Third, management responses and accompanying annexes on the report of the Auditor General on the County Revenue Fund for the County Executive of Nyamira for the financial year 2023-2024.
Okay, so we've got management responses for the three statements. We'll ask the Auditor General, there was a requirement that those responses were to be sent in good time to allow you to go through and to prepare a brief to the committee. Have you been able to scrutinize the responses?
Thank you, Chair. The responses were brought yesterday, 25th March, the physical copies that were received at our head office. Administratively, we got an advanced soft copy, of which there were no sufficient attachments for us to do the verification. Our understanding is that some of the annexures were going to change to conform to the responses that have been tabled before the committee. So, Chair, in that respect, we have not been able to verify conclusively on the matters, and we have indicated that the issues are as per the report of the Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Governor, is that the true account?
Chairman, is a true account. We had forwarded an earlier soft copy, but there were some issues which made us delay, particularly so many Senate committee meetings, particularly the last 1 or 2 weeks. So we apologize for that.
Clerk of the Senate, what was our requirement? What was our communication to the entity?
Mr. Chairman, the responses were supposed to come on the 19th of March 2025. Or no, before the 19th of March.
Yeah, the issue of appearance before the committees does not apply, and that is not a matter that we are going to consider or tolerate as a reason, because the things that are before me here are dated 17th of March. And if they're dated 17th of March, how come the Auditor General is only getting them on the 25th of March? Now, remember, I started by saying that we have constitutional timelines. Article 2293 requires us to consider, debate this report within 3 months. And we intend to strictly comply with that. In the absence of verified responses by the Auditor General, what other option, because we cannot do the audit here. It is the Auditor General who's on the ground. It's the Auditor General who's a technical person, who's a professional, who can assure us that the 15 pages of issues that he had raised have now been addressed. But in the absence of that, we would probably just end up adopting the report of the Auditor General as is and make recommendations for investigations and prosecutions and subsequent follow-up. Now, members, before I give any directions on this, Senator Mofa, you are not gone on record. Just introduce yourself.
Chair, my name is Mwenda Gataya, Senator Tharakani, the county member of this committee.
Okay, honorable members, you know the pressure we have. We have been sitting in this room since morning so as to comply with the constitutional timeline. The governor, Nyamira, has walked to Nairobi with his responses because if they were sent yesterday, maybe you arrived with them yesterday. And that cannot be the way for us to work. This committee is not comprised of auditors, and we cannot accept documents that have been submitted to the Auditor General just last night. In any case, even if I was willing to accept, we cannot proceed if the Auditor General is not ready to lead us in the conversation. Auditor General, despite with the soft copies that were sent in advance, are you in a position to guide this conversation?
No, Chair. According to our brief, most of the issues are not resolved. In fact, all the issues are not resolved, and probably, Chair, we may not do sufficient justice to give or to guide the committee in respect of the report. Thank you.
Honorable members, I need to get your views on this before we give directions.
Chair, I have been around for some time, and this is not the first time that this committee has engaged the governor. So one would want to know why this anomaly that is so blatant, because this is something that has been intentionally been done, because the governor has given some very funny reasons that he was engaged in some committees here and there. But of course, I don't think whether this committee is going to consume that kind of allegation. So I think, Chair, with that kind of understanding, we may not be able to, because you know the auditors are the prosecutors of this matter, and they have no information on what we are going to prosecute. So I think, Chair, we leave it to you to make a decision on how we are going to involve and go matter the matter.
Senator Wabua?
Chair, you know, I'm almost tongue-tied because I'm just wondering and looking at the governor, and he has come with a big team. I'm actually wondering what they have come to do. Because in all fairness, governor and your team, this here is part of the documents that you delivered yesterday. We have had custody of the documents today. I assure you that we have very sharp brains here. But even if you brought all the brains in this country together and tell them to process now this document plus others, now, what are we supposed to do with this? What is it that you expected this committee to do with this document now? Chair, and this I'm not just addressing the governor of Nyamira. I'm addressing governors, I'm addressing the family of devolution in this country. Chair, the time for games, if that time was ever there, that time is up. Let it just be known that time is up, Chair. You know, a few years ago we were talking about, devolution taking root, new constitutional dispensation. That's many years ago. We cannot have a situation where a sitting governor, the chief executive of a county government, delivers before Parliament a document that needs to be processed for several weeks. He delivers it today and expects the Senate to engage and make recommendations on the same day. Chair, I agree with you. Maybe this will sound rude, but maybe we shouldn't do that. But when Posta used to operate, there are days that we used to receive letters, and you just do return to center. This is one case where the documents should just go, and then they can form the basis for the next cycle of audit in the next financial year. This is unacceptable, Chair. I am really at a loss as to what this committee can do. But lastly, Chair, if then we are going to have another session to address the governor, then there are things that we need to say. Nyamira County is in the news for very, very, very bad reasons. Extremely bad reasons. This is an addition to those bad news coming from Nyamira. Something must be done. This committee, Chair, has capacity in law and in the Constitution to begin to correct the mess in Nyamira. I thank you.
Senator Murumo.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think there's adequate time that is available during the audit, from the entry meeting, the audit itself, management letter, exit meeting. All these documents were supposed to have been delivered for audit. They were not delivered. You are given a second bite at the cherry. That is to give the documents to the auditor for review. You are not able to give them in good time. Chair, as you said correctly, we don't do audit here. It is the auditors, our partners, who are supposed to have reviewed these documents. I don't find it tenable to continue with this meeting, Chair. I think we just need to tell the governor to go organize his house and we meet another day. That would be it for me, Chair.
Senator Nyamira.
Yes, Chair. You know, we have had sittings with a number of governors, and I have not seen a case, and members will bear me witness, I have not seen a case where the governor delivers a bundle of documents to the auditor on the same day that we are supposed to have a sitting. Governor, you know you are embarrassing all of us. Because these senators here, they are governors. None of them subjected their senator to the embarrassment that you are placing us into as the people of Nyamira. As the chairs put to write it, your documents were prepared on 17th. In fact, if you sought my help as your senator, I would have come to Nyamira, picked them and delivered them to the auditor. If only to save my county from the embarrassment that you are subjecting us to. Because it's better we discuss on details of the issues. But on non-performance from your end, you have your CEC's chief officers, you can't deliver documents to the auditor in time. Governor, is there something you're hiding you don't want the auditors to see on the expenditure of money from the county of Nyamira?
Chairman.
Order, Governor. I think we'll process the communication through the chair. Let's allow the senator to conclude. I'll give you an opportunity to respond.
Because, Chair, you know, some of these things are disgraceful. It's a disgrace. I should be sitting here to defend the county of Nyamira, but now with this disgraceful conduct, what do I do? Where the auditor himself is saying he can't proceed. Governor, this is a big shame. It's a big shame from you and your officers. But certainly, Chair, there is something maybe that is being hidden from us. I agree with Senator Ombua that let's do what we are supposed to do as senators in our oversight role. In practice, lawyers, we used to call, this is what we used to call practice by ambush. Now, when you don't want your adversary to have a good look at the things you have hidden, you deliver the documents in the last minute and hope that you will have scored an advantage over your adversary. This is not right. And the governor should be reprimanded. He should put his house in order. It's not right. I feel sorry on behalf of the people of Nyamira, but I'm not the governor. That is his skunk. Let him deal with it. Me, I'm a senator.
Now, it would then appear that proceeding is not tenable. And if that is the mood, we need to give clear and quick directions, because we have a 3,000-page report to adopt and to be circulated before the close of business today. I will allow the governor to respond, and I'll put a question to the members of the County Assembly, because I've had some of them introduce themselves as members of the Public Accounts Committee. They also have a responsibility, and I want to hear what they have done with respect to this report. Governor?
Thank you, Chairman. We had filed the soft copy in good time. It's only the pictures which took time to take fresh, good pictures of the projects in issue. I plead with you, Chairman, and the committee to accept our written submissions. We have nothing to hide. The auditors can come and verify.
Governor, how possible is that when the auditor has not had the opportunity to review? Because if you had filed everything on time, the auditor had verified and done a brief to this committee, that is when you'd be talking about that nature of request.
The soft copy had been filed. It's only the pictures which were not attached.
I want to make this session brief because it's 3, but you are inviting us into territories that will lead you into problems. Members, was there a chair? Is any of the member a chair of the Public Accounts Committee? Because we usually invite the county assemblies when we are having these sittings. Are you the chair or just a member of the committee?
Oh, thank you very much, Chair. I'm a member. The chairman, Piak, is believed. So we are here on behalf of him. So I could introduce members who are here.
They've already introduced themselves, so just for purposes of time.
Thank you so much.
Article 229 requires the County Assembly and Parliament to consider these reports within 3 months. Has your committee considered this report for Nyamira County Executive?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I want to confirm that our committee has not received the responses, and it's unfortunate that we have, in several occasions, asked for the same, but we were never supplied with the report.
Is the report before the Assembly? Has the report been tabled at the Assembly?
No.
The report has not been tabled at the Assembly?
It has not been tabled.
Auditor General, have you forwarded a copy of your report to Nyamira County Assembly? Because tabling is the responsibility of the clerk.
Well, I can confirm that all the reports of the Auditor General for the period 2023-2024 were tabled to Senate and all the 47 county assemblies.
So, Chair, I think the member is not understanding your question, because if you have requested for responses from the executive, then you are asking for responses for a report that you have. Or what would you be asking for responses for? What haven't you been given? Responses for which report?
Maybe I used has this report the Auditor General's report been brought to the County Assembly
Yeah,
for you to start
Chair.
acting on it?
Yes, it was brought, but you know, we cannot process the document minus the responses from the executive.
Have you invited the executive to respond or to appear before your committee?
Yeah, we have tried in several occasions, but they did not appear.
You invited them in writing?
Yeah, we have written them in several, even a reminder.
Governor, why are you not cooperating with the County Assembly, which is a primary oversight institution, which has greater capacity to deal with some of the things we are seeing here? I'm seeing 12 projects, buildings, I don't know, markets, projects that we cannot resolve sitting in Nairobi. These are the guys who can resolve them. Why are your officers not cooperating with the County Assembly?
The summons, Chairman, were done by a clerk who had been declared illegal by the courts.
His name? What is the name of the clerk who did the summons?
Governor, how does that relate to your constitutional responsibility to account for resources allocated to you? 5.8 billion shillings is in this report. You have been called by the County Assembly to explain. Now, how does the issue of the clerk come in?
It's a unique situation, Chairman.
Yes.
We have been having wars within the County Assembly itself. They've been in court and out. So at one time, one of the clerks one of the factions was using had been declared illegal. So it was very hard for us to deal with one faction from the other until a court pronounced itself around about, is it a week? Or
I'm getting lost, Governor. Isn't there a County Assembly in Nyamira?
There is a County Assembly, but
doesn't the County Assembly have the mandate to oversight the executive?
They have mandate.
When they call you to respond, why do you get into the legalese of who is in office and who is not? Isn't your responsibility supposed to be to respond to the request of the County Assembly?
It's also my duty, Chairman, to obey the law.
What law are we talking about? Because the law I'm referring to is Article 229 of the Constitution of Kenya. And perhaps the governor might want to have a copy.
There were two.
And various public finance management principles in the Constitution, which requires you, having spent 5.8 billion Kenya shillings, to account to the people through the County Assembly as a primary governor, as a primary oversight institution. You see, Governor, this is why sometimes you have carried a huge delegation to Nairobi to discuss things that could have been discussed at the County Assembly. I personally sometimes think that governors mnajiletea hizi shida. These are conversations that are best held in Keroka or the County Assembly chambers. Now, it's emerging that you have refused to cooperate with the County Assembly on the basis of... By the way, do you know who the clerk of the Senate is? The name of the clerk of the Senate?
I've heard of him, Nyangenya something.
Do you know whether he's validly in office?
I believe he's validly in office.
Do you even care to? It's neither here or there.
Yes.
When he sends you a letter, you don't first go to the court to check whether he's validly in office.
No. This case of Nyamira is a bit unique. Chairman, I want you to listen.
Okay, please.
There are, up to now, two factions of the assembly, which are divided in the middle. So we have been getting summons from both. Until about a week ago, when the courts pronounced who is the legal clerk and the legal speaker, we were a bit divided. So it's a bit tricky. It's not that I can...
let me ask you, have you taken any law, any budget, any supplementary to the County Assembly for consideration?
Yes.
During that time when the duration you're describing?
I took a supplementary to one faction which had been cleared by court to approve. And they did approve.
Am I the only one who is lost?
There were two functions.
You can take your supplementaries to the assembly, but you cannot receive invitations to the assembly.
The invitations, when the invitations were being made, there was confusion as who is the legal speaker, because there were two speakers. One called Nyabaro, another one called Okero. So until the courts pronounced themselves, we were divided in between.
Members, this confusion seems infectious, because now I am very confused. Anyone who has gotten the hang of it to help us here? Vice Chair?
The clerk wrote to the governor asking for responses to this audit report. The governor did not give that report because there are factions. But when you wanted your supplementary budget done, you chose to take it to one faction. If you are receiving correspondences from both factions, why didn't you elect the one that would take the responses of this audit report too? Because at least for budgets, you are taking to one faction. But for audit reports, you are taking to none. I'm really confused, just like the chair.
When they had asked for responses, the function which was writing, the clerk had been suspended. And he continued writing.
Was the Public Accounts Committee of the County Assembly affected in any way?
It was, because it was torn into two.
The Public Accounts Committee?
It was torn into two.
What do you mean? There are two Public Accounts Committees in Nyamira?
There are committees. One function from the committee, another one declined. And the courts, when the courts pronounced Okero to be the legitimate speaker, and the clerk called Nyamira, then now we had to deal with the one function which was legal.
When was your supplementary budget presented to the one faction? When?
It was in December.
Was there a court order in December?
There was a court order, but it more.
No, when did the court make a pronouncement on this issue of who is
there
the
was a stay.
No, Governor. You know, don't play games here. Tell us
I want my account attorney to answer those.
Order, Governor.
Yes.
When this pronouncement you have said, okay, when was it made by the court? It's a simple question.
Chair, before allow me, Senator Okongo Omogeni, because you know what is happening here is that we are all now very confused, extremely confused. Chair, can you get to in the room, maybe the MCRs or I don't know who, to paint, Chair, protect me from the governor, to paint a picture of what is happening in Nyamira County. I was actually thinking that we are here for 2 minutes. It would appear like we'll be here for like 10 minutes, Chair. It would appear like there are two speakers, there are two clerks, there are two park committees. Can we get the picture that we can, maybe even two governors, I don't know.
Even before the, Chair, if you listen carefully to His Excellency the Governor, I think he's too much involved in county assembly affairs. What is your interest? Because you seem to know functions, the speaker, who has not been there, who has been suspended, who has been banned by court to do this and that and all these things. I mean, I thought the assembly is very independent.
Chair, assembly is separate.
And you know, there was a question. Just a minute.
Just let the senator prosecute his point.
There is this case that the speaker just fronted. He asked you whether you know the speaker of the Senate, and you said Nyanganya. Do you know his special? The clerk. If you get a letter from Nyanganya now, we don't go to court to find out whether he is currently in office.
Remember, I'm still the governor for Nyamira, and although assembly has got this autonomy, but I'm still the presiding governor, so I must know what's happening. so that I don't deal with the legal function.
Governor, I was hoping that this meeting would not last 10 minutes after the declaration by the Auditor General that we cannot proceed. Now, we have found ourselves having a governor explain to us the going-ons of the county assembly, which is extremely, not just irregular, but very odd. Now, maybe as Senator Wambu has asked, let's hear, now that we can spend some 5 minutes on this, because we must bring this to a close for us to go back to our reports. I've heard you talk of county attorney.